Hello, everybody. How's it going? I am very late. It's me. It's ya boy. It's ya boy Garybach. How's it going? It's Friday afternoon. It's actually a pretty nice day out here, but I just got very behind schedule, and you know, I had gotten all the stuff ahead of time. Also, can you hear the dice? Yeah, looks like you can based on the microphone. Yeah, I got all my stuff ready yesterday, but I hadn't like set up my PC area and all of that jazz. So, you know, we're starting a little late. It's fine. Yeah. I figured we could show off both dice and other tabletop accoutrements, depending on exactly what we wanted to do. Oh, that's pretty bright. What if I just turned that off? Yeah, we don't need that one. Okay. We don't need the camera ring light in here. Now, what I will say is I am locked into this area, into this battle station, like a Gundam cockpit, because right in front of me, obviously, you can see this beautiful leather lined rolling tray out of oh my god, what is the name of this wood right now? Purple Heart. This Purple Heart wood rolling tray from Wormwood, a company I used to really like supporting. Emphasis on used to. You know, there were a few scandals and a few things from their management that I didn't particularly like. So, you know, I kind of just just stepped away from them, but it's okay. They do make nice products, and their rolling tray is quite nice. So I figured this would be a great setup for the hand cam. It will keep everything nice and contained-ish. However, with that all said, I still have like a bunch of the dice over there, and then a bunch more behind me, and then my like keyboard is like over here, and then also my drinks are over here, and then the camera is right there, the like vtubing camera is right there, this camera's right here, microphone's right here. So like we're locked in. We are locked in. Cockpit is locked and loaded, but yeah. Anywho, yeah. Anybody got any? You have a Wormwood table. I'm locked into their silliness. Yeah, pretty much. Anybody have any fun plans for the weekend? Anybody do anything fun in the last day or two? It's too late for me. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? But like, also, there's degrees of support. You know, I used to like buy things that I didn't really need, but were cool, you know, in a way, as a way to like sort of continue supporting them. But it's like, now I'm not going to buy things that I don't need, even if it's cool. If I did need something and they had it, like I might go to them for a gaming table if that's something that I was actually actively interested in. But, you know, I'm not really at that phase in my life anymore. So yeah, it's like, I don't need to do the rampant consumerism for a woodworking company. You know, it is what it is. Regardless of all that, I want to show off my first. I know that I've taken pictures of this, and I haven't used it lately because I've been drinking out of the GamerSups things. However, I just filled it up with GamerSups today. I have this amazing potion bottle that I got at the Ren Fair, and so it is now a red potion bottle filled with GamerSups for this stream, and it has a sick like carrying harness that you can like strap on. You can fully carry it by it. You can fully hold it by it. You know, it's got a nice little cork. You do have to be careful to make sure that like it doesn't get scuzzy on the inside or whatever, but you can also disassemble it if you really need to like put it into a dishwasher or something like that. A real glass. Oh yeah. I don't know if you can actually hear that very well, but Yeah, it's sick. It's fun to drink out of. No, yeah, I figured it's kind of like kind of thick, and like the sound is gonna be quiet enough that it's gonna be hard to hear through mic filters and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, part of my Ren Fair props, but also doubles for good D&D props, so it's fun. I usually fill it with a funnel, including today, just so that it doesn't spill whatever liquid you're filling it onto on these nice straps. So, you know, there's like a little bit of extra hassle, but I did just cork it up and then put it in the freezer to just like keep it cold. So, you know, well, let's see if I can get a good cork. A little bit. Hey, how's it going, the Yaki? I can just call you Yaki, right? I can just call you Yaki. Funnels are key for any kind of bottle like that. Yeah, exactly. Yaki, okay, yeah. Yeah, well, I'm starting off strong by revealing my mega potion flask accessory, so to speak. Yeah, today is just a very silly hand cam day. I'm going to be showing off a bunch of my dice and tabletop accessories on this here hand cam. Put the cork back in. Probably be pretty good for like avoiding spills, you know? But yeah, how are you doing today? How's your Friday going? We're starting off with just a set of metal dice that I have. Now, I like these dice. I think they're pretty cool, but I will say that like it does take a little bit of practice to be able to read them at a glance. They're definitely harder to read than like the standard die patterns. So like you do eventually get used to this is a 6 versus the 5, which is here. Right, this is a 5, this is a 6. Like you eventually get used to noticing at a glance which one's which, but they're still fun. They're nice and heavy, you know. We like metal dice. Now the goldish, like bronzish one, this one I also really like, and it also for some reason feels a little bit easier to read. I think maybe it's because there's like slightly more contrast on the pips. But you will notice that with several of these sets of dice, I have a bunch that are all one color and then a single one that's a different color. And that is because in War Machine, certain types of things, you would have to roll 2 different kinds of dice. One to determine like the column it was damaging on the mech, and then 1 or 2 dice to determine how much damage you did. And so that way you could just pick up all 3 and go, okay, it's, you know, 7 damage to column 5, right? And then you could do that. So usually people just use different colors, but yeah. So we got our yawn metal dice, you know. I do have more metal dice. I don't know exactly when they'll continue making an appearance, but these ones weren't in a bag already, and so we're just starting here. Also, how's it going, Aeon? I was just showing off my my potion flask from Ren Fair that's full of gamer sups. Chewing on ice, do I want one? Oh my god, that would actually probably be great. Caltrops, aka Caltrops, yeah. Well, you know, the D4s are the real Caltrops of dice. Can you guys hear the like rolling sound? Because it makes a really pleasant sound to me. I bet that comes through pretty nice, actually. But yeah, I use these dice quite a bit. The tray clunks, yeah, baby, that's right. This is actually also a multifaceted tray because just slightly off the edge of the camera, there's actually an extra little slot that right now is holding a dice container that matches it. However, you could also use it to store extra dice or things like that aren't being rolled. So it's like a very multifaceted tray. Now, I'm not going to open this yet because the dice in here are very special. So they're going to go a little bit later into the show, you know, when we're on to our like really nice ones. But, you know, I'm just giving you guys a little teaser. Yeah, I use these ones a lot in War Machine for quite a while. they're just very satisfying, very chonky, very clunky, you know. Big, huge damage. I feel like any tabletop player is very, I don't know. There's both a lot of superstition and also just a lot of like weird preferences that are maybe not superstitious so much as just like, ooh, I like how they feel, or I like how they sound, or I like how they roll, or whatever. So like, I feel like there's a lot of that in the tabletop community. So yeah, but yeah, here, these be my metal dice. And then up here, you may have noticed, these are actually officially, well, first of all, they are official Privateer Press dice, as in Privateer Press is the company that makes, it's how the dice taste. See, everybody has different parameters. Do your dice taste like Skittles? And if so, what's your favorite color? Privateer Press is the company that made War Machine, and these are official, like Vegas weighted Privateer Press die. So with that comes extremely hard, sharp edges. They're very pointy, and they are meticulously weighted. And so these were ones that you had to use in tournaments. I mean, you didn't have to use these ones specifically, but these did qualify. They had to be essentially like Vegas dice weighted in order to use them, because they are the most fair, so to speak. And so these ones, now this is a problem because my hands are very small. As we've noted on many occasions, I can only hold 3 of these dice, and like I basically can't, like if I use both hands, I can shake them up, but I can't like shake them in one hand very effectively because they like take up most of my hand. Like it's a problem. It's not the best, you know? So, but that's okay. They do have a nice feel. Like these are very light. These are, on the contrary to the metal dice, these are extremely light and very crisp feeling. These do like, I don't know how to explain that they feel more fair. Like, I don't know, there's just something about these. It's just satisfying. I don't use these very often, but again, that's the same reason, these being from the company that did War Machine, that you have one that's a different color than all the rest, so that you can roll a column and a damage number, sometimes 3 dice all at once, and then you can be like, oh, that's 10 to column 5, you know? I love the ones with figures in them, but they are often improperly balanced unless the maker is very experienced. Yeah, that's true for sure. Do they have a nice heft? These ones are actually pretty light, but like in a way that, like, I don't know. They're very interesting. Like these are significantly lighter than these, which makes sense because these are metal. But like comparing this to a standard D6, I actually feel like this is about the same weight as a D6 that's actually smaller than this. So they're actually almost a weirdly like a little light for how big they are. It's a really interesting feeling. And then you just kind of like toss them out. Imagine missing the rolling tray right in front of you. Couldn't be me. But yeah, they're very nice little ones. Welcome in, Sir Nibbit. How you doing today? We're just getting started. We're talking about some of my metal dice, of which I have more coming later. Slightly inflated dice. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, these are extremely sharp. These would hurt so bad to step on one if it was like propped up on a corner. These are very sharp lines and very sharp corners, because I guess that has something to do with influencing the distribution of results from rolling. You have some dispel dice, sharpened edge dice. Yes, I would say that they're about the same as that. Yeah. You feel like your dad would like my streams? You know what? Depending on your age, your dad might be the same age as I am. You may be shocked to learn. You may be shocked to learn that I could be Many Chatter's parent, especially if I was slightly irresponsible as a youth. But most likely, yeah. They have a very fun design, but people don't like rolling them because they're too edgy. Yeah, they are. Yeah, no, it's true. I do have my dispel dice as well, so they will be making an appearance. So for now, I think maybe I'll just like set these aside because I need more space. I need more space. I was discussing just a little bit earlier just how full my entire area is right now. I'm like locked in on all sides by things that I don't want to knock over. Yeah. Okay, pop quiz. Now, I assume most of you can tell me how many sides these following dice have at a glance, although maybe not. Maybe you're not as familiar with tabletop as I am. However, who can guess quickest what these are specifically designed for? Any guesses in chat? It wouldn't happen to be VTM, would it? It would, actually. Indeed, these are Vampire the Masquerade. These are Vampire the Masquerade. 6 even sides. This is actually 10-sided. These are 10-sided dice, 5 on each side. However, as I said, they are, yeah, these are 10-sided. This is a 6-sided dice. This is a 10-sided dice. Actually, some of these actually have numbers on them. So, you know, you go from what? There's 1, 2, all the way up to 9, and then the 0 would be 10, right? Had to zoom in. Yeah, 0 to 9, exactly. Yeah, so these are for Vampire the Masquerade, and there you will note that again we have this common theme of having multiple colors, right? So it would be like maybe 3 reds and 2 blacks. This is specifically for 5th edition Vampire the Masquerade, where you make dice pools. You don't even know if your dad knows what a VTuber is, so he can watch your screen. I mean, you know, listen, we'll take anybody. We'll take them all. In 5th edition of Vampire the Masquerade, in earlier editions, my understanding is that your blood resource, which is how you use your vampire abilities, was more like mana, just represented as blood. Whereas in 5th edition, it is not a spendable resource. Instead, you have a certain number of hunger, which is always minimum 1. Asterisk, but essentially always minimum 1. And so what happens is whenever you make any roll in 5th edition, if you would roll, say, 5 dice, then however many your hunger is how many you replace with red dice, hunger dice. So at the moment, hunger 1 with 5 dice, you would roll 4 black and 1 red, do your thing. And then basically if the red dice like forms a crit with anything else, then like things get bad. And like things just get worse for you. And so the more you use abilities, the more likely it is that your hunger will increase. So say I used an ability and then you would roll to see if you get hungrier. Sometimes you don't. So sometimes you just get to use abilities for free, but sometimes you do get hungrier. And so it'd be like, oh, now my hunger's 2. Well, if I was making that same die, it would be 5 dice, 2 of which are red. I've only played Mage. Does Vampire have the same core mechanic of all D10s and rolling number of successes? Yes. In 5th edition, they also changed the success range. So in older editions of Vampire and presumably Mage, you used to only get a success on like a 7 up. And in 5th edition, it just went to 50-50. So half of the sides have a success and half of the sides have nothing, right? And so it makes it a little bit more likely that you get successes, but because of the way that like the hunger system is playing into it, it's very interesting. 7 Up is a soda I used to drink a lot. What does that mean? What? Hello? What? Yeah. Anyway, so that is why there are 2 different sets of dice. You will also possibly notice that there are slightly different patterns. The ones with the star is essentially a 10, which is how you crit. 7 Up is literally a soda. Yes? Yes? I do know that. I don't know. Oh, 7 up. Oh, because I said 7 up. Okay. Yes. 7 and higher. Yes, a 7 up. I gotcha. I understand now. Yeah, so on the die, there's a success. This is a critical, which would be equivalent to a 10. You know, a blank is a failure, and the skull is a critical failure, aka a 1. Don't you put cheese on my head, sir or madam. Don't you dare. Anyway, so yeah, this is a vampire. I just bought a couple big sets of them so that because I did do some storytelling for Vampire the Masquerade, and so I figured nobody else was going to have the dice, so I just bought a bunch that we could share around. So that's why we dumped all of these beautiful D10s in here. But thank you for the CAC W. Yes, indeed. You can control F on my massive list of redeems. That's good to know. That's good to know. Yeah. But yeah, one of the things I like about the way that Vampire works is that they divorce like attributes from skills. And so the idea is that, like, say you have your main attributes, right? You're like strength, your constitution, your dexterity, your intelligence, your whatever. And then you have skills like, say, driving, investigation, technology, fighting, whatever. And the idea is that, and theoretically this is true in Dungeons and Dragons also, but it's rarely ever actually done this way. The idea is that when a situation comes up, you make a set of dice based on a stat and a skill combination. So if you were like swerving out of the way in traffic to like avoid something, it would probably be like your dexterity and your driving skill. You would put them together. Say you had 2 dex and 3 drive. That would be 5 dice. And then you're rolling and you see how many successes you get. However, maybe you're like hopping into a car for the first time, you know, really high-end sports car. And you're like, how do I do this thing in this car, right? Then you might combine your intelligence and your drive skill, because it's like not really about your dexterity at all, just because it's about driving. And so it leads to a lot more fluid combinations of skills and abilities in a way that makes it harder to min-max in like one specific subfield, or like you can, but it's not quite as omnipotent as it is in Dungeons and Dragons. Because in Dungeons and Dragons, skills have a default stat associated with it. Like stealth is always dexterity, right? Like knowledge is always intelligence. And yes, it does say in the Dungeon Master's Guide that you can mix and match and say, like, in this case, I would like you to make an intelligence stealth check because it's about blending into the crowd, not about moving quietly or whatever. But that's actually done very, very, very rarely. And so I like it a lot more in Vampire that you will often be mix and matching different skill and ability and stat like combos to make different dice pools. Because it makes your character feel more well-rounded. It makes like, yeah, it's just, and it also means that it's much more valuable to like put a little bit into things because it may come up in like more or less advantageous situations for you. And so one of the things that's kind of annoying about systems like D&D is they sort of encourage you to just be incredibly good at one thing, because like then everything will just be based around your ability to just succeed easily. And a system like Vampire, it just doesn't do that as much. Some of it does, right? But anyway, so big fan in general of Vampire the Masquerade, in addition, of course, to being a Vampire VTuber. But anyway, these are my official Vampire the Masquerade D10s. D10 set. It was also, once again, very easy to just pick them up and dump them in. I'm trying to structure this in a way so that we can like, I can move some of these things out of my way, because my giant Gundam cockpit on my desk is like actually going crazy right now. Okay, now Now, at this point, I have like 4 grab bags of dice that are all mixed together and not sorted. And then I have a bunch of really nice dice holders for my really nice dice. And so like, I think I'm just going to go random dice first, and then we'll like get to the nice dice as things go a little bit later. But we'll talk about like, if I can remember not where, but like why I bought these dice. Because a lot of the time, I don't know if other people are this way. A lot of the time I will buy a new dice set, like a set of, 10 dice, when I start a new character or something like that. And so like the dice will be for a character. Sometimes I'll just buy them because they're pretty, which is especially true of the really pretty dice. But I have a lot of random dice that were like for a character. So let's start with this one because I want to show off the bag. I love this dice bag. These are metal. I don't know how well you can hear that, but these are metal, and basically they are, yes, a scale mail. That's exactly right, Maeve. A scale mail dice bag that was, oh, look at that. PAX 2017, amazing. I didn't even know these were in here. Very funny since PAX is right around the corner. Yes, a scale mail dice bag. Listen, magenta has been one of my colors for quite a while in gaming, it turns out. And yeah, it's just a beautiful, it's a nice little size. It's nicely knitted together by hand. These were made by somebody local to me, so these are not mass produced. So yeah, I'm a big fan. And we're just, ooh, I do have some fancy dice in here. Ooh, okay. All right, well, listen, some of the fancy dice are gonna get shown off right now. Okay, let's put some of these aside. These are jade. These are made of jade. I don't know where I got them, to be perfectly honest. They may have been a gift because I only have 2 of them. I have 2d6 jade, and they are quite nice. They have some nice heft. I'm going to be careful with them because obvious reasons. But I have resin, I have wood, I have metal, and I have precious stone dice all in the collection today. So anyway, got some nice jade dice. They're not, the color's like kind of subtle, you know, but can you bite them or eat them? Well, if you feel fine biting a solid stone, you know what? Have at it. Have at it. Yeah, beautiful. I'm pretty sure these were a gift. Pretty sure. Yeah, but I had forgotten about them. Let's check the PAX dice. This is actually kind of a slick little case. This is metal. And it is magnetized. Oh, yeah. And then these are aluminum. These are blue aluminum D6s that say PAX on the 6 sides, I believe. Would make sense, right? Yes, these are the 6s. Yeah, so the 6s, yeah, you have those? Yeah, small wonder. Yeah, these are some nice 6-sided dice. And they're nice weight, you know. I would say they're a pretty similar weight to the jade ones, which are, you know, given that the jade is decently smaller, you know, that kind of makes sense. The more I know Dice Goblins, the more I think I should find a way to make the crystal candy in the shape of dice. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's just, I'm just going to say that that's a hazard because somebody is going to mix up which dice are actually plastic and which dice are actually edible. But I'm pretty sure I've actually seen dice candy, and it is fun and it is cute, and nerds will absolutely buy the shit out of that. Nerds will absolutely buy the shit out of that. Also, like, low key, this stream is partly inspired by me mentioning the other day that a really good merchandising opportunity that VTubers and VTuber agencies are leaving on the table is tabletop accessories, because behold how many fucking dice and tabletop accessories I own that I'm going to be parading out on this stream that I don't need. Like, I have enough dice. I don't need the vast majority of these. However, I want them. And so if I could have like Iron Mouse dice, you bet your ass I would be buying some Iron Mouse dice. If I could get a Calliope Mori rolling tray with a nice like leather, like burned in leather art for the tray, brother, even though I don't need one, you bet your ass I would be buying it. You better bet your ass that I would be buying it. Yes. We do love neodymium magnets here in Gamerland. Wait, do these? No, okay, I was gonna say they're square, right? So they should be. We love the neodymium rare earth magnets. They make all sorts of dice accessories. Quite nice. I am apparently number 189 out of 1050. So I guess there were only about 1,000 of these made, and I was number 189. I'm thinking about you possibly being my father's age, but you're most definitely not older than my mother. Well, I'm almost 40, so I'll let you do the math. I am hag maxing. I am the unk maxer. It is what it is. Okay, now some of these I know I have in other places. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. It's kind of difficult, but they have really beautiful rainbowy sparkles in them. I'm older than your dad, but younger than your mom. Well, there you go. I'm the perfect age. Yeah, so these sort of appear black at a distance, but they have a really nice rainbowy sheen. They're very pretty in person. They're just a little hard to capture on the camera. I do see them, like I can see them sparkling a little bit. I just have to be very careful of glare, because it's a lot easier to see, you know, in person. But I have a bunch of I have a full set of these dice. I don't know exactly where they are. Oh, this is a D10 in that set. Yeah. And there's also a D6 in that set. So some of them are together. We might play some sort of like dice sorting game today. That's a boring one. Those are all... What's this? No, okay. Yeah. You play D&D, it's me. Yo... Oh, fine. Oh? Nani? Also, once again, time to show off for those who were not here earlier, my lovely potion bottle flask that I put Gamersups in. You changed your username. Got it. Got it. Welcome back. Drinking our Gamersups. All right, so we've got these three in this nice, beautiful, sparkly pattern. Now, I'm going to leave some of these for later. But however, I know that I have at least 6 of these. So I don't know where the other 3 are, but they are just a translucent purple. Explain to you how to change your little Pokemon. If you type !avatar and then a space and then the name of the Pokemon and then press enter, that should change it. As long as the Pokemon that you are changing it to is within the first like 6 or 7 generations and you're not trying to say something like shiny or something like that. Yeah, little hard to see again. Getting it a little bit. These are a translucent purple, so they're kind of a pretty purple color. Little hard to see with the lighting once again, but I have at least 6 of these, and these are pretty old. Now, I have an opinion that may be a little controversial, or it might not. I am a strong supporter of dice with pips, which you're gonna notice. No backlight strong enough to show that off. You mean like if I put something under it? Is that what you mean? Like I could put my phone under it. I suppose. Yeah. Yeah, I could try that. I don't know. It might blind the camera though, because like. Yeah, no, that's, well, yeah, okay. It's this is unwise, but yeah, it's a nice little sketchy, tiny bit, yeah. Yeah, there you go. Also, new phone case reveal, and just a simple black phone case that I put a Bibu Tax sticker on and a Gengar. How's it going, Kaiser? Welcome in, welcome in. New phone case reveal. But yeah, these are old. This is, I believe, from my very first set of dice I ever played D&D with. I got a solid blue set of dice.
I am the stone that is approaching.
Thank you for the approaching stone. You're goddamn right. Bibu mentioned she had to take up the screen. Absolutely. I have a set of D6s with this beautiful, like, I don't know what color of blue you would call this exactly. Almost like cobalt, I would say. And a couple of red ones as well. And I rolled my very first character's stats with these. And I got very good stats. This is back when I used to roll for stats. I also am an avowed non-roller for stats these days. I don't like rolling for stats, but back then it was just how it was done. And I rolled for stats and got incredibly good stats with these dice. So, you know, they hold a special place in my heart, just remembering that. But yeah, as I was saying before, I am a pips over numbers person. Now, they don't do pips for dice other than 6-sided dice, but which is fine, probably for the best. But I so much prefer dice like D6s with pips on them than I do numbers on them. The numbers just look ugly to me. And like, this is so much more elegant than like reading a number. I don't know. I love pips, and I understand it's not feasible for like a 10-sided die or a 20-sided die to have pips on every side. Like, that's crazy. But, you know, yeah, there you go. Yeah, your Darkrai. There you go. Got it. Nailed it. Killed it. Anyway, yeah, so I'll set these aside and maybe we will reunite them later. I'll put away the Jade dice because they're good for now. And I'll put away the Pax dice. Now, some of these dice I'm going to like set aside for when their sister dice come out. However, I really like these dice. These are also metal and they are fancy. They do take a little bit of work to read. Once again, it's that same pattern as the other dice. So once you've kind of learned one, you've learned the other. But I really like how these look because this inner silvery lining, I think, is a really nice accent. And the colors on the metal are really nice. It's royal blue. Okay, well, fair enough. Yeah, I really like these dice. I think I have 2 of each of them. So I don't know where the purple one is. Oh, nope, just kidding. It's right there. They were all together. Yes, I have 2 of each of these because 66 is pretty much all you're ever going to need. So we've got purple, we've got sort of a reddish, magenta-ish, and we've got blue. They are really nice, really heavy, really hefty, you know. Sometimes that happens. And yeah, you know, you got a 1. Well, now this looks harder in the glare than it is here, but you know, you got a 1, a 3, a 6, a 1, a 4, and a 5. Pretty good roll, above average for sure. Yeah, big fan of these dice. I'm pretty sure that I bought these dice at PAX. I think I mentioned this earlier, but I developed perhaps a self-destructive spending habit where every year at PAX, I would get more fancy dice and started over time increasing the fanciness that I bought. So this would have been one of the earlier sets. I'll point out some of the ones I bought later, but suffice it to say, there are many hundreds of dollars worth of dice that are going to be shown off today. I don't know if it breaks $1,000 or not. I haven't actually ever calculated it. What would you need to start playing Dungeons and Dragons? I would say petrified wood levels of expensive, gemstone. We do have precious stones, and we do have some really, really fancy metal ones that I'll show off later. And I don't have petrified wood, but I was almost convinced myself to buy yak bone dice. So in order to play Dungeons and Dragons, first of all, you're going to need a small group of people to play with. And you would need a player's handbook and a dungeon master's guide to explain the rules of the game, how to make a character, all that stuff. And then you would need at least one set of dice that you could get for like $10 at a hobby store. If you just asked them, you know, like that you wanted to learn how to play D&D, they could point this all out to you. And pencils and paper. That's all you really need at the end of the day. And there's all sorts, bone dice. My bones are dice. That's right. So yeah, that's all you really need at the end of the day is a handful of people that are willing to play and learn. Somebody that is going to be designated to be the dungeon master, aka the storyteller, the person who runs the rules. Do you need a board? No, you don't need a board at all. D&D is primarily played in your mind in terms of like, so you have a dungeon master. So if I'll give you an example right now. You find yourself in a tavern, and in this tavern, there's maybe 20 patrons. Some of them are rolling dice. Some of them are drinking. You know, there's a couple dancing over there, and there's a little group playing instruments. When all of a sudden, actually, roll a perception check for me. And that would be where you would check your perception score you determined at character creation, and you would roll a 20-sided die, and you would be like, 14, and my perception bonus is 3. So that's 17. And I would say, with a 17, you've started noticing a strange, strong odor of smoke wafting in through the window. What would you like to do? And at that point, you would say whatever you want to do. You could say, I'd like to ignore it. I would like to go talk to the barkeep and ask them if they know what that is. I'd point it out to my companions. I go outside. Whatever you want to do. And so then I would say, okay. And then I would continue to narrate whatever you said you did. And at some point ask for more rolls if essentially you have to make a roll if whatever you're trying to do has a chance of failing. And so the dice determines whether you succeed or fail, and your character's abilities determine how good you are at whatever you're trying to do. And so one person is sort of running the story and you are playing it. Yeah, it's a rule book. Yeah, there's a rule book. That is the player's handbook is the rule book. It explains the rules of Dungeons and Dragons, and the Dungeon Master's Guide gives sort of additional context and advice for the person who is the person that's doing what I'm doing right now, which is storytelling and giving you challenges and things like that. And that's it. Now, there are people that play with miniatures and like they make up boards and sets and things like that. I do find it helpful to have like a rough map that you're playing on top of, but I honestly, one of the best ideas for that I've ever seen is from my DM, who just uses lined Christmas wrapping paper, because on the back, the lined ones on the bottom side of them are 1 inch by 1 inch squares, which is a perfect grid to put things onto. And so he'll just roll out a sheet of gift wrapping paper you know, like upside down, so the shiny side is on the table, and he'll just draw on it like really roughly, like here's the walls, here's a bush, you know, whatever. And then you can use like Legos, you can use pennies, you can use literally anything you want to represent where your character is. And, you know, you can sort of say like, oh, I'm gonna like go over here, and then, you know, whatever. But you do not need any like fancy expensive gear for it whatsoever. The player's handbook is a little pricey, right? Because that is like sort of their main product, but that's pretty much it. They had D&D thing. Yeah. Anywhere that sells Pokemon cards probably has D&D stuff. Yeah, little white figure. Yeah. So if you want to, you can paint figures. You can buy them unpainted and then you paint them yourself, which, by the way, we haven't gotten into very much bingo today, but I'll say we've got age, but also miniature talk is coming up. You can in fact like buy a little miniature if you want, right? And I've done it both ways. I've played with Legos, I've played with like little just colored tokens, and I've played with miniatures that I've painted. Those things all exist actually, but now that you say that, I'm just gonna go get my miniature from my longest running campaign and just bring it over here. So just give me 1 second. Oh no, not the ads. Well, it's okay. We got a few minutes. This is the character that I played for my longest campaign. I played this character for, I want to say, about 7 years in real life. And I painted this. He was a warlock. It's not a perfect representation of him because I just took with what I could get, but my warlock did always have a little purple leather-bound book that he was always carrying around, and, you know, wore sort of like green robes and stuff like that. Let's see if I can autofocus on this a little bit. Can you like, yeah, well, it is what it is. Camera's not perfect for this, but anyway, yeah, so you can get little figures and paint them yourself. Again, this is a 1 inch by 1 inch, so like scale in my hand compared to the dice. You know, these are, you know, not super big. There are, of course, monsters and things like that you can get. So that was my warlock. This was a barbarian I played briefly, that I also painted. And this I actually got, there's actually a site called Hero Forge where you can actually use like a 3D character builder. And then they will 3D print it and send it to you. So you can actually design your own character, which is very cool, very fun. So yeah, this is a barbarian I played. Are there any bird-like creatures you can play as? Absolutely. There are at least 2 that I can think of right off the top of my head. There's Aarakocra and I believe, I think Kenku are also bird people. Yeah, you'd have to get like some extra rule resources for that, but yeah, absolutely. Also, any of you who are familiar with Critical Role, I got the Mighty 9 character set and painted all of them. And so we have the full, well, at least the full initial character set of the Mighty 9 that I'm going to awkwardly try and place all in my hands all at once. Oh, I cannot believe these are actually staying. That was actually so good. There we go. Maybe I'll turn on the light for these guys. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there's the mighty 9, you know, but there's 7 of them. Insert laugh track, yada yada. Yeah. So yeah, there are like miniatures that you can use if you're into the artistic side. Then, you know, then that's also really fun, but you absolutely don't have to, either for money or skill reasons, or both. If you could describe the bird creatures, what would they look like? I mean, I would say that they have like bird heads and largely walk bipedally, but have, I don't remember what their hands look like, but they have like wings. But I believe their wings are their arms in the way that is how it works with real birds. I don't think that they have wings and arms. Pretty sure. It's been a hot minute though. I don't usually play the bird characters per se, but there's a lot of options, you know, and that's part of the fun of it. And also D&D is very much a game that like encourages people to work with their dungeon masters to come up with like custom things that they think are fun. So, you know, like even if you don't have rules for it, you could just make it up. There are also often races like pixies or things like that, that can fly and such. So yeah. Pterodactyl with a human torso? Yeah, kinda. Or like, it's more like if you just change the proportions of like a crow such that it was much bigger like a human, and then its legs were like, it's like legs and torso were like a little bit more, you know, bipedally shaped, if that makes sense, but still like birdie. Yeah. Okay, this one can go back in here. I think we're done with first pouch. I think we're done with pouch 1. Next up, after the ad break, which is about to come, by the way, Scale Mailbag 2, Electric Boogaloo. I did say that I had a couple, 2, in fact. Yeah. This one's like a little bit looser, which is like, I actually just don't have any thoughts on it other than that it's just kind of looser, but it is nice. This nice gold scale, you know, beautiful gold scale. A literal couple. Yeah, exactly. Imagine using precise language. Couldn't be me. I'm going to take a peek in here to see what... Oh, I was right. I knew it. Okay. A few of these we have seen some of already. That's fine. Do you think you can type the name in chat that you can search a picture and copy paste and try to draw my version of it? Of like the D&D race? Sure. I'm sure that if you just Googled like Dungeons and Dragons bird character, that like they would probably link you to the characters that you could play. But oh, son of a bitch! I just broke his hammer off with my thumb. No, I'll have to do repairs later. Nar. Rip, I know. A common problem whilst handling small models. Oh, Eric Hawkra do have back wings. Okay. So it's this. And let's see. Oh, and then Kenku don't have wings, but they're like a little more birdy. Okay. Got it. 2 different versions of creatures. There you go. That's what they're named. Okay. It is break time. So we'll be right back. All right, we're back. We're back in the cockpit. Okay, great. Yes, that's right. Yes, that's right. Baggie number 2. Yes, the beautiful clanking sound of dice hitting a wooden tray. I see we have a lot of D6s in here. We got a couple blue ones, got a couple translucent blue plastics. Very simple, very, very, very classy. Kind of going over here with these purple ones. I do see we also have another one of these purple ones. Now, this may be all of them. I don't remember if I had 6 of the purple ones, but I may have just had 4 of the purple and 2 of the blue in the way that I like to mix colors. But again, very classy, very, these are pretty old in my dice set. It's been a long time since I got these, but they're nice. They're effective. They get the job done. Now, these 2 belong to that beautiful sparkly set I was talking about, which I told you earlier. I am certain that I have a full set of them. They're just spread across multiple dice or multiple bags. So big fan of these, both because of course we have the pip design, but also the lovely rolling. So that is, now we're starting to get, we're starting to get there on this set. We got 3d6, a d10, a d20, still missing about half of the set. Now, it's curious how all of this bag is basically d6s from a whole bunch of sets that I have. I find that very amusing, and I'm not sure why I did that, other than maybe that I don't like the ones that have a number on them. So these are all non-pipped D6s. So maybe I put them all in this bag as like a little bit of a D6 jail because I don't like the bag or the colors. Not the colors, the style. However, big fan of these style dice. Now, these dice are notoriously uneven because these are made to look pretty, but they are literally multiple different plastics poured together, which means that in all likelihood, the density of the different plastics are not identical, which means that like these weird swirls that give them their beautiful, like randomized color patterns and swirls also mean that the weight is just not great. Now, at the end of the day, does that matter all that much if you're like being pretty reasonable about it? You're giving them like a good, oh my God, you're giving them a really good throw. No, it probably doesn't matter that much, but you maybe want to avoid it. And you're going to find a lot of different dice that I have in this style. Again, these were a lot of the earlier ones. I probably bought these dice in 2006, 20 years ago, give or take, 19, 20 years ago, something like that. Yeah, these are very similar. This is purple and black instead of this purple and blue. I feel like I remember at the time, this was like one of those Magic the Gathering sets was coming out with like maybe Ravnica, and I really liked the sort of purple and blue aesthetic, or like the blue and red aesthetic. We got some of those in there. But yeah, we got some classic. I don't know. I like to associate black and purple as like bad guy colors. So these are kind of a nice, like almost like a villain dice set of these like purple and black inclusions together. It's good stuff. It's like Ganondorf chic, if you will. Similarly from before, oh, actually there's another one. There's 5. Similarly from before, we have this one, which is again, same style, right? It's the two different resins mixed together and swirled, which again, probably does not give the most accurate roll, but again, we're keeping it casual. It's probably fine. This is a beautiful sort of, not quite teal. I don't know exactly what color you would call that, but like almost maybe aquamarine and black, depending on like which side of it you have. It's good color. Good color. We've of course got these. I think these actually belong to my wife. She really likes elemental mages and like fire-based characters, and so I think that she got a set of these like golden, yellow, orange, red dice that are pretty. They give very like fire, lava aesthetic. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Very classic. Very classy. Very chic. These are some of my oldest dice because they were very cheap. They are very ugly, in my opinion. They are like, I don't know even how to describe it. They just almost look like static noise with how like shaken up they are. And they're just sort of like gray and black and a little bit of red. I honestly don't know why I have them. I probably got them in like a discount bin, you know, because they would do that a lot with dice actually, is they would say like, oh, well, here's the ones that nobody wants, and they'll be like pennies, right? And I was like, well, I mean, why not? Why not, right? Yeah, these are some some ugly duckling dice children for sure, for sure. Okay, again, continuing our pattern of the swirl mixed dice. These are like classic Chessex dice. Chessex is like, they sell most of the dice that you will find in a lot of stores that are for like nerd stores. They don't really do like regular dice, but they are like the main brand that sells this kind of dice, and they sell a lot of them. I have so many Chessex dice. But they have like almost any color combination you can imagine, which is really nice. So this is a beautiful sort of greenish black. It gives very necromancer vibes for me. Again, I know I have a set of these somewhere. Oh, here's a second one literally right next to it. Yeah, a lot of these are paired up, which is also kind of funny. Actually, yeah, now that I'm looking at this, like so many of these are just in pairs. Like pairs of D6s. Now these are translucent. And they're sort of, they're looking a little bit more monocolor on the camera, but they're actually like lightly green plastic, but there's very, very tiny blue sparkles mixed all throughout it. Yeah, you can kind of see it right there. So like it gives a nice, almost like Caribbean Ocean color when you look at them from afar, but when you look at them up close and in the light, they're like sparkly blue-green. It's a nice effect. I'm a fan. I think these are some nice sort of like tropical ocean themed dice, if you will. And these are similar. They're just actually a slightly different color, a more blue base and sort of like shiny green inclusion. So it's like very similar, but these are bluer, these are a little bit greener. Feel free to check my color vision. As we know, there's a lot of people that there's a lot of men that are colorblind. I think that my color acuity is actually pretty good. But feel free to tell me if you disagree. And then we've got this one, which is actually just sort of like two colors of purple mixed together. It's like a pinkish purple / a pink, and then like varying shades of purple and like almost a hint of silver in there too. Could not tell you what these were for, to be perfectly honest. I know that there's a set of dice that I called my Hot Topic dice, which were not actually from Hot Topic, but they are in this style and they are black and pink. And I remember very vividly that I bought them for a barbarian. A barbarian with Hot Topic dice. I remember that very vividly from ages bygone. And continuing on our trend of pairs, we have a pair of D6s this time with pips, so they are innately better, with a nice gold and green combo. So yeah. do not think for 1 minute that we're even close to finished. Because... Actually, wait, are any of these from the same sets? I don't know. This one I just set aside earlier. This is a quite nice green and blue. More green and more blue than these ones down here that were sort of like bluish greens. Like this is just a straight green and a straight blue mixed all together, and of course sparkly, as one does. You're gonna notice a lot of sparkly, colorful dice. You know, I think you'll be able to figure out my type fairly quickly from this. I think maybe what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start grouping them at the top here, and then like seeing if we can put them back together as a family as we go on and get more dice. That could be cool, because I know that most of my dice are from sets. They came together and have just been separated through time and, you know, speeding up our, you know, cleaning processes. Okay. So with that said, I guess I will just leave this here. We're going to open a small bag. I don't know why these have dice in them. I think this bag was from a wedding favor. One thing you'll also learn as a gamer is that you can never have enough dice bags either. I know somebody that actually, what is it? Crown Royal is a hard alcohol. And they just had like a Crown Royal bag that they used as their dice bag for years. I don't know what this is from, but it definitely has kanji on it. So it's definitely a D6 with the kanji for 1 through 6 on it. Crown Royal, good Canadian whiskey. There you go. Okay. I was gonna say, I knew it was a hard alcohol, but I couldn't remember which one. I was pretty sure it was one of the like golden brown, you know, alcohols. Ooh, okay. Now this one I also remember. I used to think of this one as the oil slick. So it's like black base, but it has some really nice inclusions of very like sort of rainbowy oil slicky colors. It's like a really interesting dice set. We'll have to find more of those. We finally have some of our caltrops, our D4s. Yeah. Ooh, yes. Okay, we're finding family. This D4 matches up with that D8. So this is like green and other green. Although it looks a little bit more blue on the camera there, but this one's definitely green. We have some ugly, like acid, like acid green, which I feel like I bought these for a character that used a lot of like acid and poison. They're like, it's like acid greenish yellow. They're very, very vibrant, toxic almost, if you will. I think these are from the same set. Pretty sure. This one's just like more translucent, so it's a little bit easier to see. Aha! Yes, this is another one of the blue-purple ones, so that goes with these D6s. I don't know if this like sorting is calming to anybody's like either like ADHD or like OCD fixations, but we're gonna like group them together in their little families that belong together. Oh, blue and purple. Oh, this one goes together there too. Ah. Now, I don't know how many of you know this. There is a difference, sort of, between... Aha, perfect. There's the other one. These are both 10-sided dice, and one of them, they are all 2 digits, and one of them, they are all single digits. Does anybody know why that is? What would be the purpose for having ones that have the same number of sides but are written differently? Anybody know? Anybody know the answer? Any tabletop nerds in here? Another one of our beautiful black and shiny. Goes up here with these ones. Yes, but you're not giving it away. Yeah, Ern, for some reason, I assumed that you knew the answer to this. I can't imagine why I would think that. Bow, 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 bow. Ooh, I remember how pretty those ones were. They rolled like shit though. Yeah, so for anybody curious who doesn't know, this is for when you have to roll up to 100, also known as percentile dice. So sometimes you want to roll like a percentage, and so you would roll both of them, and the ones that have 2 digits are the tens place, and the ones that have 1 digit are the ones place. So for example, this would be 31 because it's 30 and 1. The only weird part is with the zeros. So the 0 counts as a 0, except when it's double 0, it's all zeros, in which case then it's 100. Because really this goes from 0 to 99, much like the D10 goes from 0 to 9. So 000 is 100, whereas, you know, 003 is 3, or 30 and 0 is 30. So yeah, that's the only like little weird exception. But oh wait, actually this doesn't go with that one. Ew, interesting. At least I don't think it does. This might actually be a slightly different color. I can't tell if this is a different color or if it just like has come out different over time. I'm starting to think it's actually a different color though, because I feel like that actually matches this one better. Ooh, that's actually a pretty small color distinction. That's funny. Here we, of course, have the D10 from my very first ever set. Just the classic, basic bitch, mono color, just solid blue, reuniting after all this time. Let's see, we've got this one, which is sort of just like green with some white swirly incursions. I don't think I have that one out here yet. I can go over here. This is the oil slick one that I was talking about earlier. Yeah. This one's just like black and gray. Honestly, don't really know the motivation for buying this one. I just did. I just wanted it. It's just shiny black and silver, you know? Yes, so this is yet another of the like green and black, which I think is gonna be the same as this one. Yeah, these are definitely the same set. Yeah. Big fan of that one. We're just gonna like stack them up over here a little awkwardly. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Let's see. This one, again, pretty traditional. Just sort of like red and dark red / black. Make sort of just like nice little swirly patterns again. I don't think it's the same as this one, because these are like red and sort of like, well, I don't know. They might be the same set. Oh, this one's definitely different though. I think they're different though. The color banding on this one seems different, so we'll just keep them in their own little lanes for the moment. Now, this one is kind of cool. It reminds me of tennis balls or golf balls that are like the off-color ones, like the really orange ones. But it's funny because if you actually look closely, you can see where it has like micro fractures, I think, from when it cooled the two different resins. It has like minor, like little line breaks throughout the whole die, and I think they've gotten worse over time. So they all feel smooth, but you can actually like see the little like stress points where they mixed. And these dice were notoriously bad at rolling. Like the density of the orange and the yellow were very different, if I'm remembering correctly. And so they would like very often be like, whoop, they'd like roll, whoop. They were like pretty bad. Yeah, they like, well, now I don't have enough space. Yeah, you can like see it like goes and then it like turns like a big curveball. Very badly weighted dice, like just straight up. Also, actually, fun fact, you can figure out if your die is well weighted or not by submerging it in water, because the vast majority of dice will float. And if the same side is always pointing upwards when you do it and you can't just like spin it and let it rest there, then your dice are weighted wrong. Most of these dice will be weighted wrong, but it won't be so significant that it's like a problem. Yeah. Okay, now, here's the real kick. Here's the real kicker, okay? These are all of my smallest bags of dice. This is the smallest dice. This has some heft, okay? This baby has been filled to the gills. It's a nice bag, by the way, but this puppy, it's seen some shit, okay? And so has its brother. You know, we got two big ol' fun bags here, right? They're a little different in size than each other, right? Which is totally normal, right? They're not all the same size. They're not identical. Like one's a little bit bigger than the other, a little bit more full, but we still got a lot. We're showing off the sacks. Exactly. Big sacks. They're big. Like look at how big these things are. Good God. Actually, I'm just noticing that there's a small little tear down there. Uh-oh. Oh no. Or nor. So, did I plan this out? Yeah, exactly. Both of these sacks. Yeah. Did I plan this out? I really didn't. I don't know where I'm going to put all these or if I want to continue sorting them, because the sorting is kind of fun, but also we're going to run out of space really quickly. Really quickly. I think perhaps I will move these ones because I know that these are almost all completed. We'll just like move these off to the side over here. And then we'll just sort of make room, and maybe I'll just start like dipping in and we'll just sort them, you know, as we go. Oh, perfect. Right off the top. Exactly the set I was just mentioning, the sort of like golf ball, orange and yellow. This one's almost a direct down the line split. That's bad. Oh, we have another one of my beautiful, shiny, black inclusion ones. Big fan of those. It's going over here with all of its brothers and sisters. We have another one of these sort of like acid, semi-translucent, yellow and green. Going over here. Another of the black and green sort of necromancy set, which is, I think, this one. I think these are the same set. They seem like the same colors. Seems fair. Okay. I'm trying to like pick a little bit so that I'm picking ones that are all like off the top that I can see already have matches. Got some more of these, you know, actually, I think these are two different sets. That's actually really funny that I have two sets that are very close to each other, because these are solid and these are like ever so slightly translucent. You can like sort of see into them. Maybe a little bit hard, but we doing chat D&D? Yeah, I am showing off my many dice and gaming accessories. like my scale mail dice bags, and etc. My casino dice, you know, my giant sacks of dice, you know, before we get into like the really fancy dice at the end. Oh, yep, there's another one of these. Yeah, this beautiful, like almost Mediterranean sea foam color. Yeah, that one goes there. So we're also like doing some light sorting into groups as I as I go through these. Ooh, this is another classic. So yeah, all of my first dice were these just solid color dice. They were just like these blue ones, and I have blue, red, and green. You know, after the classic Ocarina of Time, if you will, of just solid color dice. There's just no frills. They're balanced just fine because they're single material. Ermadersh. Oh my god, there's so many. This is actually wild. Dice! That's right, Azul. How's it going? Also, hello. Also, hello. Yes, we are looking at all of my heaping mountains of dice and sort of trying to sort them into groups. However, I'm very rapidly running out of space to sort them into groups. We got our D4 here with the beautiful sparkly interior. You love to see it. You love to see it. Yes, and also, of course, all of the accessories that go with them. Yes, okay, the D20 with the black and green set. Yeah, the nice mix here. I have many Chessex dice before we get into our really hype dice at the end. Do I have good rolling luck? I would say it's about average, to be perfectly honest. I tend to have good rolling luck in clutch situations when it's like really important. But I also will have bad rolling luck where I'll just like not be able to roll above like a 7 whenever we're doing investigation and stuff like that. You know, so it's like a little tragic. Okay, this set's actually getting there. You used to have so many. Oh no, you lost them in a storage locker. Oh no. Oh, that's tragic. That's actually tragic. That is terrible. Got another one of these ones, baby. That's awful. I think that goes with these ones. So we're starting to get a few sets of like 3 that are going together. We're slowly making progress. Ah, yes, this is the fire set. Yes, I recognize this one instantly. The golds and oranges and reds. Yeah, nice one, nice one. Your cards and D&D books. Oh no, I actually know somebody that had a giant couple of bags of like War Machine miniatures that he had painted and everything, like full armies, that just got stolen out of his car. Like the full bags. And it's just like the amount of man hours that went into that just got ripped off is pain. It's pain, Pecco. Okay, yeah, this is another just sort of that like black and gray set. A little boring on this one. Can go right there with its brother. I know. Can you imagine? It's like the value is so much more in your own like mental and time investment than it is in the actual product itself. I mean, obviously the product investment is also a lot. Oh, this is red and purple. Oh, I don't think I have those out here yet. You know what? You might go back in the dice bag for now. What are the chances that the person who stole them just threw them away or sold them as cheap toys? Yeah, probably pretty high. They probably just thought that they were big bags and therefore worth a lot of money. And like, yeah, they probably were worth at least $1,000 if you sold them to a collector that like recognized the value of the painting stuff and like the amount of like models that were being stolen. But like, I'm sure that this random dude that just jacked them has no idea, right? Yeah, tragic. Another of our beautiful sort of Mediterranean Sea translucent dice. You love to see it. Going over here with this little family. Just gotta move them. Yeah, just gotta move them. Okay. We got this one. We already saw this. This is another one of the like black and red / really dark maroon and red. Goes with this bad boy. We got our percentile dice, yeah, for this one. Okay, we're the groupings are starting to come together. You know, I may have a lot of dice. However, a lot of them are full sets, so they do go together. This is another beautiful translucent, like teal-ish aquamarine color, but with shinies in it. Little shinies. Yeah, that goes with these ones. Okay. That one's not out. That one's not out. Okay. Hope to build your collection back up, save some Pokemon cards from the trash. I never got into Pokemon cards, which is kind of weird because you would think that I would have. I was like the right age for it. But I think at the time I was just like into playing Magic and into like watching Pokemon, and that didn't make the leap for me. So I just have never, I don't know how the Pokemon card game works whatsoever, like mechanically. And oh, that's not out yet. Oh, here's a fun one. Can anybody guess quickly how many sides this dice has? It is non-standard, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that. This is not a normal die that you would find. Your first card Pikachu was from your cousin that's no longer around? Oh, that's sad. That's unfortunate. It's really tough when, like, you have things like that that are memories that are, you know, tied to somebody that's not with you anymore. The doubly so if something happens to it, right? Because then you feel, like, guilty about it. Yeah, it hurts that it was also lost. That's, yeah. That's, yeah. I assumed that that's what you meant. I assumed that that's what you meant. Anyway, the answer is 30. It's a D30. Don't ask me why I have a D30. I have a D30 because nobody ever needs a D30. That's about the only reason. I just bought one because I could. Because I could. Much like, why do I have a D6 in kanji? I don't know. This one actually may have come with a game. Like an actual Chinese or Japanese game that, like, I just don't remember. Entirely possible. Do you use dice in, like, mahjong? I don't remember. Anyway, we've got back to our golf ball yellow and orange set right here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, a couple of these I'm recognizing right off the bat. Perfect. We can continue to, like, get them organized. Okay, we've got our sort of, like, slightly translucent yellowish greenish acidy grossness color. I think this is the green and black set. Although, actually, starting to wonder if a couple of these got kind of mixed together because they're very close, which is starting to look increasingly likely, actually. Could be. Who could say? Remember winning a dice bracelet for cheap because I rolled higher than the seller? That's awesome. That's fun. That's fun. Like, I don't know. Shop crafting, I guess you would say. Hey, that goes with that set. All right, what do we got in here? What do we got in here? What can I pull out that we've already got on the table? All right, we got some more ugly bargain bin dice that are just kind of like just hideous. Yeah, classic. Okay, yeah, this is definitely like a slightly different subset that got mixed in here with these green ones. So I think these actually all go together. Actually, wait, so maybe it's... that one's like right on the border. It was at a con, the D&D roleplay peeps are always nice to hang out with. Yeah, I would say like most of us have so many dice that we don't know what to do with, that we're just like, please take it from me, please God. Wait, these might be the same set now that I'm looking at them not having any overlap. No. This might belong to that set though. Yeah, some of these are a little hard to distinguish. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna pretend like they're all easy to tell which set they belong to. Some of them are very close to one another. Are very, ooh, man, I have so many of these beautiful black ones with the really pretty like rainbow sparkles inside them. I have so many of these. The horde continues to grow. Okay, I've seen most of these not here. So I do them by color? Well, I'm sort of doing them by color right now. Normally, yeah, I usually will roll one set at a time, but I have like, these have gotten all so split up that I'm kind of just recombining them now. Okay, yeah, this is a really beautiful like blue and white. I was saying earlier that I used to buy them. Like I would often buy a set of dice for a new character, or a new campaign or things like that. And then I would also buy them like just for funsies, but Azul, that's right. Blue. This is a really nice, again, oop, there we go. Really sparkly, translucent blue. Goes with those ones. And similarly, this is that sort of greenish blue. We're getting this set back together. We're getting the band back together, baby. Sparkles, that's right. We do love sparkles, you know? This one definitely goes with this set. Okay. Oh, I got the D12 from this set now. Okay, all right. This set's getting close to completed. Or maybe I have 2 full sets. That's also entirely possible. That's also entirely possible. So many friggin' dice. It's actually wild. We're actually wild in here. Ah, yes, good. One of the classics, one of the very first set I had, the solid blue and green and red. Yes. This is also that sort of ugly tennis ball yellow acid set. Belongs right there. This is again our nice translucent D10 from this set. So that has 2d6s, 2d10s, a d20, and a d12. So it's only missing like a d4. Only missing a d4, I think. Yeah. Like maybe a percentile dice, which I don't know why I'm not finding one. Have you ever seen glow-in-the-dark dice set, or did you just dream them? I'm fairly certain that I've seen them. I don't have any, but that... Oh, I do have the purple and blues out there. Okay, well... I don't think that I have any, but... Ooh, a couple of these are going to be nice to show off later when I've got a little bit more room. A couple of these are going to be nice to show off later. All right, so we've got this one again. This is sort of our classic lava fire set that we have up here. And this is another one of the very sparkly blues. Wonder how common it is to get dice for each character you create. I knew several people that did that and their collections got out of control. I think it's pretty common. I think people like to have excuses to get more dice just in the first place, and starting a new character is sort of like the perfect like catalyst for that. You're like, ah, new character, new me, baby, you know? New character, new me. New character, who dis? Ooh, is this one of the oil slicks? I think it is. Yeah, this is like the one I was talking about that's like the oil slick that's like primarily black, but it has like these sort of like weird oil slicky mix-ins. I like that one a lot. That's like right there. Yeah. Okay, we're getting a little order to the madness. I see. I spotted the D4. So that's 4 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, so this set's almost done. There should be one D20 and one percentile D10 from that one, maybe? Ah, here's another of the black and green set. Yeah, that's like this one. Yeah, there's definitely like 2 sets going on down here with the black and green. Is this? It's really hard to tell on the D6s though. You can also use random dice from other things / markers for, yeah, true. Yeah, you can always use the dice, right? Like, and sometimes you just feel like a different set of dice that day. You know, it's just like, you just got a vibe, you know, and that's just what you're gonna do. Okay, we got another one of these babies. This goes with the ones down on the bottom here. Ooh, this one's also almost done. We're only looking for a D6 from this set. When I can finally remove one of these sets from the table, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Okay, oil slick, I think. Yeah, that goes with you. There's your D10 partner. Oil slick D12. Oil slick. Oh, wait, I already have an oil slick? Oh, God. Oh, well. You know what? Maybe I bought 2. There's no saying that I didn't buy duplicates of some of these. Ooh, I recognize this one. This one, we only have one of them out, which is up here. So far ago. Ooh, another one of those. Okay, this one we also only have one of, which is a translucent but with white inclusions in it. It's like almost like stormy water, you know? Okay. Okay, we definitely have this set out, which is this nice purple and blue combo. Yeah, the human urge to collect pretty rocks. That is pretty much exactly it. And the human urge to, like, make a mercantile business out of it. This? Yeah, these both belong together. Okay. I don't think I have those. Don't have any of those. Don't know about that one. This goes with those ones, though. This is another beautiful teal and purple. I like to store bulk dice by type and then color to see if I get a set to keep for later. Yeah. I don't really do bulk dice because I have so many that I don't need bulk dice. You know what I mean? Oh, this one, actually, we have one of. We have a single one of those. Ooh, we also have a single one of these. All right, we're starting to get... Unfortunately, we're getting like a little close. Now, this is the set that I was calling the Hot Topic dice. They're black and pink. And I had these for a barbarian. I'll put it back for now since I don't have any of the other ones on the table yet. But yeah, these were the Hot Topic dice. Ooh, here's a D20 for that fiery set again. That's right, K-pop Demon Hunters, baby. Okay, what else are we looking at here? We've got y'all, the way that I feel so close to just giving up on sorting these because I have so many more in this bag. It's like actually insane because I have so many more in this bag and then so many in the next bag. I have so many of this set of these like green and blacks. I really like that color. Sorting Gremlin is listening. Yeah. Let's see. Do I have any of these out? I feel like I do, but I don't see them anywhere, which means that I'm not going to take them out. However, this one definitely belongs up there. You could regularly sort your dice on stream when you're out of ideas and you'll eventually get through them. True. I mean, we're only 2 hours in. We got time. Okay, I'm gonna pull these out of the tray. Because they're getting very close to a complete set. Okay, so this is, let's see. I don't have the D4 in this set, but I have 2D20, 2D8, 2D6, and a D12. So I'm missing D4s and D10s for this set. Any Crown Royal bags? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Okay, we're gonna just like sort those out. We're also gonna take these out because there's so many in this pile that it's actually like huge. And I don't... That's fine. These are easy to keep track of because they're all really nice and similar. Okay, so this is the purple and blue set. So I'm gonna like make a little bit of room. This is like the purple and teal set. This is like a slightly different one. Okay. Okay. Back in the day, that was the OG dice bags. Yeah, we were actually just talking about that. That for one of my friends that he used a Crown Royal bag for like years and years and years. I think he actually didn't know that it wasn't a dice bag for a long time. Like he actually thought that it was a dice bag until we were like, no, dude, that's it's a whiskey dice bag or a whiskey dice, a bag for, you know, whiskey. Ah, yeah, this is that nice golden green one. Like dragon colors. Alcohol, that's right. That's right. Hey, I know this one. Yeah, we got the ones with the white incursions, okay, or inclusions up here. Okay. Some of these I'm starting to see more of. Oh, this does fit in this set over here that I just took off. We have so many. Okay. Oh, now these are awful. They're cool, but they are fucking impossible to read. Never get dice like this. Never get dice like this. They are so hard to read. It's actually a nightmare. Whiskey, yeah, I couldn't remember which alcohol it was, despite... Oh, no. Yeah, no, this is a nightmare. These are awful. They'll often like sell those as like elf dice and you're like, ooh, pretty elfin. And then you like actually play with it at a table and you're like, oh, I can't. This is unusable garbage. Oh, no, that one's similar. All right. Got another one of our gold and... okay, we're not doing those right now. Oh, there's another one of these. Yeah. It's funny the distribution that I have, because I have so many of these that I have like not the standard polyhedral set where I'll have like 3 D8s, but they're all very clearly the same set. Sounding like a dwarf, my boy. That's right. Well, a dwarf would know his alcohol. So not there, but another one of those, classic. Oh my God, I have 2 D30s. Imagine. 2 of the most useless dice that you'll never ever use. Another oil slick die. Yeah. Another nerd pastime. Stacking your dice. Got yet another 2d6 of the black and shiny. The black and shiny. I have so many of those dice. I loved those dice for so long. I mean, I still do. They're still beautiful. They're still beautiful. Okay, we got 2 3d8s there. My God. My God. Out of curiosity, out of the full standard polyhedral dice set of D4 up through D20, do you guys know which one will spin the best? I, after having many years of practice, have a definitive answer. I don't know why, but I do know which one spins the best by far. Your guess is D20, and that is a pretty reasonable guess. However, that's That's not correct. Counterintuitively, perhaps. That's not quite correct. Don't ask me for the physics. D10? You've sandwiched it in. It's actually the humble D12. D12s, for some reason, spin significantly better. They spin a million times better than a D10, but they spin significantly better than a D20, and I'm not quite sure why. Like, I can't explain it, but I have definitely observed it. Ah! Oh no, the dice rolling. Imagine the dice be rolling in the tower. No. Oh, this one goes up here. You know, I'm starting to see some of these other ones that are like almost completed sets that I might also move out. Right? Imagine somebody actually rolling the dice. Yeah, that goes with these ones. The other problem is that some dumbass put all of these teal ones right next to each other. I don't know who came in and sorted them that way. I don't know who came in and sorted them that way. God. Couldn't be me. Have I ever considered using a tackle box for my collection? No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Not that that's a bad idea, I just haven't considered it. This wouldn't be nearly as hard if I wasn't trying to also keep them on stream. You know what I mean? Like, they're all going into a fairly small container. And, like, it's causing organizational challenges. Okay, we're starting to get to the point where I'm not pulling out any or very many duplicates that are in the sets that are currently here, which means that it's almost time to start shuffling some of these out to make room for more, because a lot of these are getting close. Oh, there's our percentile on the shiny black ones. Oop. Yeah, I know, right? I know, right? Okay, let's see. This one, 2d10. Oh, this one's literally only missing the d6. Wait, hold on. No, okay. I was gonna say, I was wondering if those d6s were in that big box of all the d6s, but that's fine. We'll just take all of these. And we'll just put them off in another pile over here. We're gonna start decluttering all the piles that are starting to stack up a lot. And these are all definitely the same set. These are questionable, though. I think that goes with that, that goes with that, and this goes with that. I think these are all the same set. This looks pretty reasonable. Okay. Okay. And then these ones were the ones that were like very close, but these have a lot bigger color blocks in them and are like slightly greener on the green color blocks. So I'll put them elsewhere so that they're not right next to each other, because that was a bad decision. It was a bad decision on my part, for sure. These are almost complete. They're just missing like one or two. Same with these. These are missing a few more, but that's okay. That's okay. Just gonna keep those separate. We got our beautiful golf ball colored ones. Like Sunny Delight orange and yellow. My mouse is completely trapped, I'll have you know. It's now completely trapped on all sides by dice. Okay. These ones are kind of down here. Let's see. These are not going to go next to the other ones that are the same friggin' color as them. Got all of our, like, oil slick dice. Okay. Yeah, these ones are little nice ones. We'll put them over here. Do. Oh, this one goes with oil slick. And the ads have started. Womps and prayers. Okay, we're back. We're back. We are continuing to offload sets that are getting close to completed so that I can have some more space on this little dice rolling tray. We're gonna offload our beautiful seafoam green. Well, let me move this mouse so it's not right in the middle. Okay. Let's see. These ones are like just barely any of them. These ones we actually have almost a full set of also. Which are these nice teal and purple ones. Classy. Okay. These ones are the blue and purples, which are also almost complete. Getting there anyway. I like how showing off my dice turned into sorting my dice. You know, I realized that like as I was thinking about dumping them all out, I was like, there has to be some order to this because otherwise it's just going to be a giant pile of dice and nothing else. So these are over here. These, oh, actually legitimately that set might be done. We have our beautiful blues and our other beautiful blues with the sparkles. Any of you guys have favorite dice sets from the ones that I have shown thus far? None of which are my super fancy ones. When you return, welcome back, Opt. We are clearing the board of all of the ones that are almost complete so that if I get a single one that belongs to that set, I'll just like toss it over with the other ones, but that I have room to continue the sorting. Yes. Okay. So this is okay. This is just like shiny reddish pink. Did I show the dispel yet? No, no, I did not. I have not shown any of my fancy dice yet. That's how many dice I have. We haven't gotten to any of the fancy dice. Should I show chat some of my fancy dice now as like a little bit of a palate cleanser in, you know, as a reward for oh ye faithful who have been here the whole time? Give you a little taste of some of the fancy ones. It's time. Yeah, it could be time. It could be time. Okay. Okay, how about this? I'm gonna show the ones that were in the bottom of it. Dropout reference should be a bingo. Yeah, it should be. I was here the whole time. Yeah, these are prepare thine eyes for maximum sparkle output, chat. All right. These are some of the prettiest dice, and I don't know if you will be able to tell by looking at it. We're gonna open the lid. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, we're gonna actually maybe I'll just like put these down in the middle. Okay. Now, I don't know exactly how this works because they look transparent, except that they have these like little like rainbow color incursions inside of them. So you can see through them, but they catch the light in like beautiful prismatic ways. Also, let me try turning on a light. They are like really sparkly, really shiny. They are glass, but they're like a really nice, like tempered glass so that they aren't gonna break easily, although you do have to be careful with them. So it is nice to have a leather rolling tray with them. But these ones are, of course, already pre-sorted because they're in a full set. Now it's a little hard to tell, obviously, because like the camera is getting the light like turbo reflected back. but they just have such a nice sheen to them inside. It's just like a really beautiful like gem-like refraction, but it's all glass, and I don't know what kind of witchcraft they use to make these, but I'm a big fan. And then alongside them is also another aluminum die that just looks really nice, but unlike the plastic ones, this is just a single metal. It's just aluminum. It's just that it's been dyed. So these ones do not have weight distribution problems. So this is a nice heft. Nice heft. Clack. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna turn around and grab one of the other things real quick. This one? Yeah, these ones are just spell dice. Okay. So this is a dice case that I found at the Ren Fair, which is so fucking sick. I love it. It's like pure Vecna core if you are into Dungeons and Dragons at all whatsoever. It is a Purple Heart Vecna dice vault. It is very nicely all one-woman operation. And I believe she's expanded now, but made and poured in America. They are resin dice with really beautiful, like, inner inlays of various materials and foils and things like that. I don't know that this is like doing them justice, but they're really pretty. Welcome to the database, Vivian the Villain. So yes, these, I have a full set of the Dispel dice. I have several sets of Dispel dice, actually. But this box is a Dispel dice set. And they are very, very shiny, very pretty. They have lots of different patterns. How's it going? We are looking at all of my nerdy ass dice. I don't know if we're gonna get through all of my dice. Actually, it's taking so long that I don't know if we're actually going to like be able to show all of them off at this point. But yeah, it's a little hard to get those out there with just your fingers. But now this is another one, but this one's like colored resin and colored like foil insert, and it's just like a really nice looking set of dice. These are, as Opt mentioned, very sharp for rolling integrity. You're doing not so good. Oh, why do dice always look so eatable? Well, I'm sorry to hear that you're not doing well. Dice do look very edible. They're triggering that section of our brain for when we're children, that everything is like shiny and colorful and pretty. And they're definitely mouth fittable, like these definitely fit in your mouth pretty easily. Okay, I like actually have to like turn it upside down to like get some of these out. It's actually like very difficult. What's this? So these are from a company called Dispel Dice, these are resin, but they have like a really beautiful shiny like foil inside of them that makes them extremely sparkly. They're very expertly weighted. They have very hard, sharp edges so that they roll really well. Big fan of the Dispel dice. I think I have like 4 or 5 sets of them. Oh, you meant the holder? Oh, yes. Well, I'll show you the holder again in a second because I'll close it when I'm done. Yeah, so these are just 2 full sets of the Dispel dice. This is where you would put any, like if you had a miniature to go with your dice, right? For like a campaign or whatever, you would just like put your mini in this like center thing. And then it is a Vecna dice holder. Yeah. Vecna dice holder held together by magnets, quite strong. Ooh, yes, I do. Listen, I said that I was going to save some of the fancy stuff for later, and it's officially later now. We're 2.5 hours in. It's officially later. So yeah, this is the Vecna holder. You may have been missing when I was showing off these ones, which are glass, but with a highly reflective, refracting interior that's like really shiny in the light. It's really pretty. It's very hard to show off on camera, but they look really nice. Like they look gorgeous in person. So I have a full set of these ones. The refractions, yeah, they're really nice. These are really nice ones. I'm a big fan. Some of my favorites. They are expensive, but they're not as expensive as some of the other ones. But they're yeah. These are starting to get into the like, you're buying dice just for flexing, you know? True, yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Let me go grab some more. Oh, I'll grab another one of my favorite dice cases. Actually, two of them. Okay. First of all, this is exactly as nerdy as you would think. Okay. Could have been rent, but I can toss this across the table. That's right. What are the chances somebody has gold or diamond dice? Gold, absolutely. Diamond, I don't know that you could make dice out of diamonds adequately. This is a belt holster dice vault. So this is for all of your nerd convention needs, where you can just it's real leather that's been dyed, of course. And you know, you loop it on your belt, and then much like a gun holster, you got yourself dice on demand. Which of course I had to buy because that's so stupid. How could I not? It's so stupid. How could I not? Exactly. Draw. And then in here, we've got some more Dispel dice. These ones are called the Sunken Treasure. Welcome into the database, Little Miss Puppeter. These are Sunken Treasure. They're a little bit less flashy than the other ones, but they are a nice green, sort of watery green color with like chunks of little gold in them. So it's like the like sunken treasure that sunk to the bottom of the sea. Very good, very, very cool, like thematic. It's like I said, it's not quite as flashy. Dice, you're right. You wish you had dice? Oh boy, you're gonna have some dice envy then, because we're going through the hard stuff now, baby. We're going through the hard stuff now. These are very sharp, I will say. And then a single one of these, I don't remember if I have a full set of these. This is just a really shiny, also Dispel dice. I can tell, yeah, we're getting to the good stuff, you know? We spent 2 hours on the normal dice, and of the normal dice that I didn't, finish sorting yet. Wait, hold on. No, it goes on the other way. All right. Of the normal dice that I didn't finish sorting yet, surely one of you can sit down better. Okay, listen. Listen up, dice. I need you to cooperate here with me. Need you to cooperate here with me. There we go. Yes, the medieval, the leather dice holster. Yeah, the dice are like, no, I don't want to go. Yeah. Of all of the dice that I've already shown off on stream, we still have this many that I haven't shown yet, but these are all normal basic bitch dice. And so I decided to up the ante. If you make fan art, where do you post? You can @ me on Twitter. I don't actually have an art tag, but my socials are linked below, or we do have a Discord, and you can join the Discord. Again, I think there's a link below. You can also do ! Discord, and we have an art section. And yeah. Basic bitch dice, you know, just like, you know, I don't know, Not like fancy, just like sort of normal plastic dice, you know? That's what's filling up these bags, is just sort of like the standard plastic dice that we've been going through this stream, as opposed to the really fancy dice that I busted out, you know? Now this is another favorite of mine for a dice holder, is the dice tome. Again, this is from Elderwood Academy, and it is a yeah, for D&D. It is a faux leather book, customizable designs on the front that looks like it is a tome for your shelf, but it is, however, actually a dice vault and oh my god, I forgot that oh, well, good thing it was pointing that way. Forgot how reflective that was. Good god. Okay, well, anyway, maybe I will move this off of the screen just a second and pull the dice out manually. 1 second. That's very funny. Okay, so here is a personal favorite of mine. These are actual, honest to God, tiger's eye dice. So the actual real stone tiger's eye. These are honest to God tiger's eye dice. They are very pretty. They are, of course, somewhat delicate, but indeed these are, yeah, these are some real nice ones. They belong in the spell book. All right, listen. All of my fancy dice are in my fancy holders. All of my normal dice are thrown together in the bags, okay? Sparkles, that's right, baby. Now, of course, with any gemstone die, you have to accept that they will not be balanced whatsoever, because obviously, like, you can't balance the internals of you know, a gemstone. So, you know, these are obviously like cool and fun, and, you know, most people will agree to let you use them because, of course, but they're not very accurate, right? They're bad. We got our, and by we I mean I got my DM a set of malachite dice for Christmas one year, and they're beautiful. Malachite is a beautiful stone. You know what else they are? They are the wobbliest, fuckiest dice I have ever seen roll, and it's actually so funny, the journey that a D20 will take, where it'll be like, bloop, 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 bloop. Like, it'll like fucking, you can like see it wobbling as it's slowing down, and it'll just like go backwards without hitting any. It's the funniest, they're the funniest dice to ever see. So anyway, yes, I have these beautiful tiger's eye dice in here. We'll grab the next ones. If memory serves, you can also use that shiny reflective surface with pens. It never ends. It never ends. Oh yeah, dude. I was not joking when I said that I had a metric fuck ton of dice, especially fancy ones. Okay. Sorry, VTubing's getting a little dry erase markers. Yes, that does work on those, which is nice. These are less fancy, but still nice. They're just aluminum. They're just nice aluminum, weight balanced purple dice. Again, you're noticing a theme. It's like my VTuber branding came from somewhere. Imagine. They're just, you know, these are like basic for nice dice, which is to say that they're just made of aluminum and they're pretty, right? But they are good. They're solid. You know, they're weighty. The books have some customizability. Absolutely. Yeah. They're really fun. They're really cool. Big fan. Hashtag not sponsored. I bought that book like a decade ago, probably at this point. And it has housed my dice ever since. But I have multiple. Finally, in this dice container, in this one, we have another set of gemstone dice. Hold on. There we go. We have one more set of gemstone dice, and if memory serves, I believe that these are, hold on. They are wedged in here quite tightly, which is good for security. A little bit difficult for streaming. Don't worry about it. These are, if I remember correctly, amethyst. I think. I believe these are amethyst dice. This one's like actually just so black. It's like the darkest purple black. Yeah, they're really pretty. Like, obviously the purple's nice, but also just the way that the little like striation lines will make in these things, it's just like really nice. They're great. Oh yeah, let's see if I can spin this D12. Remember how I said D12 spin the best? This is on a gemstone die, which is like way worse than just doing it on a plastic die. But oops. Also, it's like not a perfectly clean surface, so it's hitting things. These things will go for like so long on a totally flat surface. Like this leather has gotten some little like stuff in it, so it's not quite, you know, perfect, but that's right. Beyblade! Fuck yeah! That's right. That's right. My VTuber model's freaking out because I'm just completely disregarding the camera and looking away from it, you know? It's just what it is sometimes. It's just what it is sometimes. Wow. Okay. All right, that is the Magic Tome. Lovely dice container. Very fun. Very chic, you know? Magnifique. Okay, let's grab some more containers. You know what? Here's one. This is a different dice rolling tray that I got at the Ren Fair. It is a leather, very nicely made rolling tray that also unsnaps and flattens down and then can also be inverted if desired. It's actually quite handy. It's a very good practical product. Ah, yes, the greatest D6 that you never asked for. Have you thought about this one? Small hands or big dice? Why not both? Why not both? Actually, though, the answer is both. Okay, all right. We've returned all of the crap. Sorry, I was just like reaching behind myself, like leaning over, reaching, stretching, grabbing, balancing. There was just a lot of things. Yes, no, I do have small hands. This is a well-known phenomenon in this community. This is a standard 12-ounce can. It is most of my hand. If you are a man, you can do a comparison yourself to see that your hand probably goes about this far. But you know, similarly, this is how far around I can reach around it. So, you know, the reach around, that's right. But you know what they say about small hands? Everything looks bigger when they're holding it, you know? So, same size as yours? Yes, but how tall are you? How tall are you? Because the reason my hands are small is because I'm tall enough that they are small. 5'0", I'm 5'8". I am 8 inches taller than you with the same size hands. So, you know. Now, this is another sick dice case that I bought at the same place as the Vecna one. This one does not have any dice living in it yet, but it is nice. Also, incidentally, this is why this is another reason I've stopped buying as much Wormwood stuff, because these were like half the price of the Wormwood ones. And I'm like, these are definitely still made by these people. they're just cheaper and they look really good. Yeah, they're really sick. Which brand is this? I have no idea. It was at a local Renaissance fair. So I don't know the brand whatsoever, unfortunately. I don't even know if they're like a brand proper. I know, right? That's why I bought several. Yeah, I don't see anything inside. They're just... But it's quite nice, you know? So they weren't, you know, I was like, okay, all right, we'll buy some of those. I have another one that I think is also empty at the moment. Might be imported, but it looks like the quality's up to snuff. It could be. It could be. It could also just be that they like, are like laser cutting it or whatever, and then just are not selling it at scale, right? Because they're just like only going to small Ren fairs, right? They're just like the traveling, like only buy it here. We don't even have a website, you know, so their prices are not adjusted for what is actually quote unquote real profit or whatever. Yeah, same thing, same deal. Just a nice sort of arcane looking one. All right, let's get back to our Wormwoods. Now, this is part of the Wormwood system that they like to tote, which is that they have a whole hexagonal system of hexes that all tessellate and fit with each other. So this is from a limited set of Eldritch dice. To be fair to Wormwood, they do their manufacturing domestically, but it blows up the prices. Well, that's what I mean, is like they do it domestically, but also they're doing it at such a, like, their operation scale is very large, which like in some ways makes certain things cheaper, but at the same time also means that they have a really expensive roof to keep over their heads, right? So like, yeah. Oh God, I just don't want it to like blow up, because this is okay, there we go. This one's very tightly sealed. Now this one I actually do really like. Now, despite me saying don't ever buy fancy ones that have a lot of text on them, these are at least easier to read. And these are, I think, a like artificial tiger's eye that's like a, what would you call it? Like a mauve or like a maroon tiger's eye that I really like. I think this is a really cool, dice set. I don't really use it that much, but it is cool. Big fan. I bought these for a warlock, as one might imagine, you know. These are quite purdy. Again, stone, you know, so they've got some heft to them. We got our stone caltrops. Now, I don't know how many of you are familiar, but there's actually 2 different styles of D4s, and I really like one of the styles and I really hate the other style. I'm trying to see if I even have any of the other one. I'm sure that I must somewhere. I just don't like them, so I don't have very many. Basically, the 2 styles are, you added more stuff to your throne. Let's go. Wait, yes, numbers on points versus flats. That's correct. So the one style is the number that is facing up on the point. So like if this is this way, then the one that's on the top will always be 4. no matter what side you're looking at. Similarly, it's always 2 versus the style where the number is on the bottom. And so it's on like the flat part. And so you look at the bottom. So they're all like rotated 30 degrees. And I hate those ones. I like the point ones because it's way easier for me. Like if this dice is just sitting here, you're like, oh yes, 4 is up. It's 4. I don't know. For some reason, I find that like immensely easier to read. Hey, Snake, how's it going? Yeah, well, you know what? That's fine. The YouTube gonna YouTube. You know what I mean? I don't know what to tell you. You like D4s where it's a square prism with pointy ends? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, this is a nice little mini case, you know? It's a nice little pocket size, you know, pocket size case. Okay, I'm gonna look in these off the camera real quick. Yes, okay. So these are Dispel dice. Does this make these my really fancy ones? Yes. Yes, it does. Okay. Great. All right, so we already had some Dispel dice. Okay. There we go. Already had some Dispel dice on camera before. This is some more of them. Again, quite pretty. Just a big $20 bag you bought off Amazon. That is the way to go when you're starting out. You know, when you develop a finer taste, you know, where you just gotta keep escalating. Oh, that's not good. You just gotta keep escalating over and over and over again. Then you start getting the real fancy shit. Welcome back, Little Miss Puppeter. Yeah, so these are more Dispel dice. So these are resin with like some sort of refractive foil inside. Very pretty, very shiny, very sparkly. We have 2 distinct sets in here. I don't remember what they're called, to be perfectly honest, but they're sort of like purplish, pinkish, and green. And then the other ones are just like very green. But they're nice. They're nice, you know? 10 or 1, so to speak. Depending, of course, on what you're doing. Oh my God, he rolls 2 nat 1s in a row? That's crazy. There we go. Wow. We're rolling like shit now. Okay, there we go. There's a 17. There we go. But yeah, this is a very, very nice couple sets of dice. And incidentally, my current D&D character, which is a half-orc spore druid. So he's got a nice little base with mushrooms on it. He's you know, he's half orcing it. He's got his shield and then nothing else in his hand because, you know, listen, homie, don't use weapons like that. But actually, this came out pretty good. So this is it's not new anymore, but it's a relatively newer feature. This is also a Hero Forge mini. So I like customized this mini, including the like skin tone and like his clothes and stuff like that. And I did not paint this. It actually came printed this way. So they can now do color 3D printed miniatures. Now, is that pricey? Yes. However, I think it looks pretty goddamn good. Like, all things considered, I think this looks pretty goddamn good for something that, like, came this way and I didn't touch up. Yeah. Like, this is just 3D printed color. Very impressive technology. Yeah. But yeah, that's my current character for when we play in person. We usually play online. So a lot of this is somewhat superfluous in the year of our Lord 2025. Post-COVID really got us social distancing in all of our campaigns. And, you know, people have moved. And so we've kept up a lot of them remotely. But actually, speaking of social distancing, this case was during 2020 and Wormwood, or maybe 2021, somewhere around there, middle of COVID anyway. And Wormwood, like many manufacturing companies, was facing a crisis of, you know, basically having to shut down everything and lay everyone off because nobody was allowed to work and all of that. And so they basically came together and sort of pitched this idea of moving various tools to various craftsmen's homes and letting them basically work out of their own garages. And so like re-employing people in sort of like a makeshift work from home woodworking operation. And so they basically sold special ones that had a little special mark for the ones that were done that year, that were basically sort of like a, you know, help us keep the fucking doors open with what we can make. And so anyway, this is a poison wood, which is quite a nice wood, black poison wood, COVID pandemic dice set. And this is probably what I would say is my most weird flex dice that I've never seen done by anyone else, as well as just some other good ones, of course. Now, these are stone. These are not the flex dice, but this is a stone. I honestly don't remember what it is, but it's very reminiscent of the black shiny dice that I was showing off earlier that I really like. But these are stone. They're hefty. This is another of the false, like artificial tiger's eye that's like blue and white. And it's a really nice look. It's got sort of like a snow theme, right? Now, Aeon, if you're still listening, Aeon, the one I'm about to show you is the real weird fancy one, which I think you'll be able to appreciate. These are aluminum dice that are completely, the outside is completely separated from the dice inside. It is a dice inside of a cage of metal. Now, it is tight enough that it doesn't rotate within it, but it is laser cut around, like, so each of these dice is freestanding within the dice container. Chinese puzzle balls. Ooh, I don't know about that. Very cool. Yeah. It is a like very weird. It's like a very niche, weird, not actually useful in the sense that like there doesn't actually come anything from it, but the outer shell is completely disconnected from it and they laser cut the inside out of it. So it is completely seamless. It is not something that was glued together or something like that. And so when you shake them, they jingle. It's actually kind of hard to hear. Let me put a couple in my hands. Because basically they like the metal is hitting the metal within its own die. And it's just like, so anyway, these are, I would call these like very fancy, weird dice. But they work just fine. Like they roll just fine. You know, they're pretty precision weighted still. They're just like weirdly like, yeah, they're just like weird. They're just like a very weird die. But they're very fun. Traditionally carved from ivory, but people often make them with wood and other materials these days. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. The little like D4 caltrip. Little D4 caltrip. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, these are, I figured you would appreciate it from an engineering standpoint. These are definitely the most niche ones that I have. Okay, what else do I have in these little packets? We're almost done with my fancy dice. It's very extra, yeah. These are Purple Heart dice, so they are just dice cut out of wood. They are extraordinarily light. They are, in fact, far lighter than most resin dice, but I got them for fun. I don't really have a reason other than to have them. They're very light, very, you know, yeah. Nothing like too special that needs to be shown off per se. Very cool. I also have just more metal dice. These are very heavy. These are not aluminum. I'm not sure what they are, but they are very heavy. They're not actually gold, obviously. But have another classic set of metal dice. And our final Our final bag. Ah, yes. That's right. I don't remember what this stone is. I'm sure I could find it, but it's a really cool natural stone that has these really beautiful like purple inclusions in it. And yeah, I don't remember what the stone is, but these are also stone dice. You do not recommend steel dice unless you have a lip around your table to stop them from pelting your feet. Well, that is why I have rolling trays. It's really nice with the colors and stuff. Yeah, they're really interesting. Like normally sort of the greenish, blackish wouldn't necessarily be my favorite, but with the purple, like the purple really sells it. Like these purple, oh yeah, that's good shit. Yeah. We got some more precious stone, semi-precious stone, whatever you want to call it. And I think that's all of my fancy dice. And then all that's left is and these giant dice bags of more plastic dice. However, I don't know if I'm actually gonna gonna keep going with the dice right now. You know what I mean? Like I showed off all the fancy ones and all of the fancy accessories, but I don't know if I want to like continue sorting dice at the moment. Like it's starting to drive me a little bonkers with how little space I have and how many dice I still have unshone. I might just like pick up the dice that are here and then I might just like pick up the dice that are here and then just dump out one of the bags just to show you and just like do a little quick sift without like fully going into it. Now, where'd that other bag go? Where did you go, bitch? Oh, okay. I sat a bag on top of a bag. Got it. Understood. Sat a bag on a bag. Bag-ons be bag-ons. Okay. Yeah. Got our nice leather rolling tray, which I can use to store some of the other shit. Okay. So maybe what I'll do for the moment, I will just store these ones that are already kind of sorted in this bag, and then I'll just dump out the big ass red bag that we never got to. And then, you know, I might just call it a little bit of a short stream tonight. I don't know. I'm kind of tired, kind of hungry, kind of like don't have a plan. Either that or I'll just like play like a random game like Overwatch or something like that. Do something simple. But all right, here we go. 3 hours is short. Yeah, I usually go like 4 or 5. All right, here we go. Here's the big one. Yes. I'm already recognizing some of the ones that I had from earlier, so I might actually grab those while we're here. It'll take the dice I don't need. Like I said, there's a lot. There's a lot. Okay, actually though. Okay, so this set we recognize from before. This can go over here. This set we recognize from before. This one can go over here. This one we recognize from before. This sort of green, yellow puke colors. Go over there. All right, let's see how many of these I had most of already set out from the previous one. This one we have golf ball. Too many dice? Yeah, we still have this many dice left. We have golf ball color, and then we have the nice Mediterranean Sea color. Goes over here, goes over here. We have, let's see. Got this nice, the blue with the white inclusions. We got, ooh, this one I think actually just went back in the bag. Let's see. Oh, here's my classic dice. My old school blue. The classics, of course. Couple of those there. Couple of those there. Let's see. What else have we got? This... I don't think that one actually belongs to that set. I did say dice ASMR. Should you start playing D&D? If you can find a group, you should absolutely start playing D&D, because D&D is one of the most potentially fun and fulfilling hobbies I've ever taken part in. It is not always perfect. There are challenges, of course, like any hobby. There are good groups and bad groups and things like that. Imagine still more of these. I have so many of these dice, you guys. But it is... I am still playing D&D with several of the friends that I started playing D&D with literally 20 years ago in 2005. It is a great way to keep in touch with friends, have amazing adventures. It's fantastic. It's great. It's like I said, it's definitely work. The hardest part of D&D once you've started playing is continuing to schedule and meet up as adults, because time, tempest fugit, you know? But yeah. Yeah. Would recommend. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that this is probably a good spot to call it. Am I a dice goblin? I am. Oh my God, Genu, you missed it all. Genu, you missed it all. I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to end the stream or if I just want to like play some Overwatch. But I definitely, I'm done with the dice at the moment. You know what I mean? Like, brain is tired. Brain is getting tired, and I've been looking at dice all afternoon. Oh, this one goes over here with these ones. So many. You play D&D every Sunday? Let's fucking go. I don't play every week. I play like once every 3 weeks. It's hard to continually meet up that many times, especially the older you get and the more people start having families and things of that nature. I think this goes over here. This, yep, that's another one. That's another one. That one goes over here. Actually, the sorting is starting to like take shape. The sorting is starting to take shape. I'm actually making progress on it. That's crazy. You have 3 different campaigns? Holy crap, brother. That's a lot of campaigns. That's a lot of campaigns to keep track of. Okay. I'm gonna see who's on the inner butts right now. Who is playing? Oh. Let me check. How long have they been going? Okay, not very long. And medium length. All right. Oh my God. Oh, my keyboard is so far away, you guys. It's actually insane. Also, one last time, I'm going to show off my lovely potion bottle that I filled with gamer sups that I got at the Ren Fair. Big fan of this bad boy. It's a chonker, more or less. So yeah, gonna definitely take a sip of this baby. Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna just raid out to Vika, who is an awesome Souls player. Oh, raid. We'll be back next week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday as per usual. Yeah, I hope you guys had fun with this silly little quasi-impromptu hand cam stream. Had fun looking at shinies and sparklies. Ads are starting in 1 minute. Not if I have anything to say about it, bitch. Goodbye, Twitch. Alrighty, have a good one. Bye-bye.